Mexico's changing. The military is everywhere. You see them in airports, on beaches, and in rural towns. President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, known as AMLO, has given them a bigger role. The military now does over 100 civilian jobs. This is a militarization of Mexico. AMLO's vision extends beyond security. The military builds trains and airports. They manage big projects. This gives them control of public money. A new government is coming. Will they change course, or is Mexico set on a path of militarization? Mexico is facing high homicide rates. The need for security is real, but at what cost? The expanding role of the military raises questions. Is this the best way to ensure safety and stability? The situation demands careful consideration. The balance of power is shifting in Mexico. The military is gaining influence. This has implications for democracy and human rights. The future of Mexico hangs in the balance. The decisions made today will have lasting consequences. The Maya train is a symbol of AMLO's vision. It's a 900-mile railway. It will cross the Yucatan Peninsula. The military is heavily involved. They are building about 1/3 of it. This project shows how deeply the military is involved in civilian projects. The Maya train has faced problems. There have been court orders to stop construction. Costs have gone over budget. There have even been derailments. Environmentalists are worried. They say the train will damage the rainforest. Despite the problems, AMLO is pushing ahead. The Maya train is important to him. He sees it as his legacy. He is giving the military a lot of money to build it. In 2024, over half of the Defense Ministry's budget will go to the train. The Maya train is a controversial project. It shows the complex relationship between the military and the government. It also raises questions about priorities. Is building a train the best use of military resources, especially when Mexico is facing so many other challenges? Mexico has three main military forces: the Army, the Navy, and the National Guard. AMLO created the National Guard in 2019. He wanted to replace the federal police. He said they were corrupt. The National Guard was supposed to be different. At first, the National Guard was under civilian control, but in 2022, AMLO moved it under the Defense Ministry. This caused controversy. Critics said it was a step towards militarization. The Supreme Court agreed. They ruled that the move was unconstitutional. Despite the ruling, the National Guard continues to operate under military control. This shows the tension between the government and the judiciary. It also raises concerns about the rule of law in Mexico. The structure of the National Guard is a point of contention. Some say it's too militarized. They worry about human rights abuses. Others say it's necessary to combat organized crime. The debate reflects the deep divisions in Mexican society. AMLO trusts the military. He says they are the least corrupt institution in Mexico. He believes they are also the most efficient. That's why he's giving them so much responsibility. He wants them to build his legacy projects. He wants them to fight crime. Public opinion polls show that Mexicans trust the military more than the police or the government. This gives AMLO political cover. He can argue that he is following the will of the people. Since AMLO took office, the military budget has increased dramatically. It's gone up by 150%. This shows how committed he is to empowering the military, but it also raises concerns about the balance of power. Some worry that AMLO is creating a powerful military elite. They fear that this could threaten democracy in the long run. Only time will tell what the long-term consequences of AMLO's policies will be. Section 5, a nation under guard, security implications and concerns. The National Guard is now bigger than the federal police ever was, but has it been effective? Crime rates remain high. Some argue that the focus on infrastructure projects has diverted resources from fighting crime. Detentions and drug seizures have decreased under the National Guard. This raises questions about their effectiveness. The number of disappearances has also increased under AMLO. An estimated 50,000 people have vanished. There is a lack of transparency about how the National Guard operates. This makes it difficult to assess their performance. It also increases the risk of human rights abuses. There is an urgent need for more civilian oversight. Many Mexicans are losing faith in the government's security strategy. They see the military everywhere, but they don't feel any safer. The situation is complex. There are no easy solutions. Section 6. A legacy forged in green, the challenge for Mexico's next leaders. The next Mexican government will inherit a difficult situation. The military is deeply embedded in Mexican life. AMLO has made constitutional changes. He has extended the military's role in security until 2028. This limits the next president's options. Reversing course will be difficult. The military has a lot of power. They control resources and personnel. They also have the support of many Mexicans. Any attempt to reduce their role will be met with resistance. The next government will need to find a balance. They need to ensure security, but they also need to protect democracy and human rights. This will require careful diplomacy and political skill. The legacy of AMLO's militarization will be felt for many years to come. It will be one of the defining challenges for the next generation of Mexican leaders. Section 7. The Siren Song of Power. Risks to human rights and democracy. Giving the military too much power is dangerous. It can threaten democracy and human rights. Soldiers are trained to follow orders. They are not used to civilian oversight. This can lead to abuses. When the military is involved in civilian affairs, transparency is crucial. The public needs to know what they're doing and why. Without transparency, there is a risk of impunity. Mexico has a history of human rights abuses by the military. This makes it even more important to have strong civilian oversight. The National Guard must be accountable to the people. The erosion of democracy is a slow and insidious process. It often starts with the best of intentions, but once power is ceded to the military, it can be very difficult to get it back. Section 8. Balancing Act. Finding a sustainable path forward. Mexico is at a crossroads. The country is grappling with complex challenges. Violence, corruption, and impunity are rampant. The government is struggling to maintain order. In this context, the military can seem like an attractive solution, but militarization is not a sustainable solution. It is a band-aid that masks deeper problems. To achieve lasting peace and security, Mexico needs to address the root causes of violence. This will require a multifaceted approach. It will involve strengthening institutions, tackling corruption, and promoting economic development. It will also require a commitment to human rights and the rule of law. The path ahead is not easy, but it is the only way to build a more just and equitable Mexico, a Mexico where the military plays its proper role under the control of civilian authorities. Section 9. The People's Perspective. Public Opinion and Militarization. Public opinion on militarization in Mexico is complex. Some Mexicans welcome the increased presence of the military. They see it as a sign that the government is taking security seriously. They believe that the military is the only institution capable of restoring order. Others are more skeptical. They worry about the erosion of democracy and the potential for human rights abuses. They point to Mexico's history of military dictatorship. They argue that giving the military too much power is a dangerous gamble. Public opinion is divided along socio-economic lines. Those who live in wealthier, safer areas are more likely to oppose militarization. They have less to fear from crime and more to lose from a decline in democracy. Those who live in poorer, more violent areas are more likely to support militarization. They are desperate for security. They are willing to sacrifice some freedoms in exchange for safety. Section 10. A future etched in uncertainty. Mexico at a crossroads. The future of Mexico is uncertain. The country is at a crossroads. The decisions made in the next few years will have a profound impact on the country's trajectory. Will Mexico continue down the path of militarization, or will it find a way to address its challenges while upholding democratic values? The next presidential election will be crucial. The Mexican people will have a choice to make. Will they opt for a continuation of AMLO's policies? Or will they choose a different path? The stakes are high. The future of Mexican democracy hangs in the balance. The world is watching.
So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.